A pair of Venezuelan F-16s rip through the Caribbean sky, low, fast, and closing on a U.S. Navy destroyer that shouldn't even be on their radar. Inside the USS Gravely, alarms echo across steel decks as radar screens bloom with red. 45 miles out, two blips grow brighter, Mach 0.9, and closing. In moments, this calm patrol could ignite into an international firestorm. Every second matters, every command a possible trigger. One wrong move, and the Caribbean becomes a battlefield. The clock starts ticking as the U.S. crew prepares for the unknown. 0742 local time, the USS Gravely, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, cuts through the calm Caribbean waters, 85 miles north of La Guaira, Venezuela. Beneath the morning haze, the Combat Information Center hums, screens glowing, voices clipped and urgent. Radar contact, two fast movers inbound bearing 085, range 45 nautical miles. The tone in the operator's voice snaps the bridge crew into motion. The Gravely's Spy-1D radar paints the sky in sweeping arcs as two F-16A Fighting Falcons race toward them at nearly 690 miles per hour. On command, sensors shift to full power. The Aegis combat system links instantly with an overhead E-2D Hawkeye, expanding the ship's digital vision far beyond the horizon. In the electronic warfare bay, operators catch bursts of encrypted Venezuelan Air Force chatter, short, coded transmissions bouncing across frequencies. No identification call, no response to routine hails, just silence and speed. The captain's voice cuts through the tension. Set condition 1, manned and ready, weapons tight. Below decks, sailors sprint to their battle stations. Failing CIWS turrets wake with a mechanical whine, tracking silently but holding fire. The bridge dims to red lighting. The air grows thick with anticipation. 40 miles, 35. Each mile closer feels like a countdown. Are these jets just testing the edge or crossing the line toward confrontation? 0747. The bridge crackles to life as the USS Gravely's radio operator transmits a calm but firm warning. Unidentified aircraft, you are approaching a United States Navy warship in international waters. Identify yourself immediately. The message repeats, once in English, once in Spanish. The sea stays silent. On the consoles, the radar signatures don't waver. Instead, the ship's systems flash a new alert, targeting radar detected. The F-16s have locked on. Inside the Combat Information Center, a quiet tension settles like static in the air. The Electronic Warfare Division springs into action. The SLQ-32 V6 jammers hum alive, unleashing bursts of deceptive interference, digital chaff meant to confuse the fighters' fire control systems. For a moment, the radar locks flicker off, then snap back, stronger. The Venezuelan pilots are playing their own game. At 20 nautical miles, the ship's combat cameras catch twin vapor trails cutting through the blue sky. The F-16s drop to 2,000 feet, sunlight glinting off their wings as they angle lower, toward the destroyer's port side. "Captain," a voice warns, "they're descending fast." "Illuminate them," he orders. The SPG-62 fire control radar locks onto both aircraft. No missile launch, just the unmistakable signal that the ship is ready to shoot if it must. The airwaves remain empty, but the tension screams louder than any words. Will the fighters heed the warning or mistake it for provocation? 0801. The horizon splits with sound. Two Venezuelan F-16s tear through the sky at over 800 miles per hour, descending to barely 500 feet. The USS Gravely's deck trembles as their sonic booms crash across the water. "Brace!" a voice shouts over the comms. Crew members grip railings as vapor cones explode around the fighters, shockwaves pounding the destroyer's hull. The failing CIWS sensors automatically lock on, whirring to life with a metallic buzz. A single spark of miscommunication now stands between peace and war. From the Combat Information Center, the ship's radar feed surges with data. The Aegis Spy-1D tracks every movement. Range readouts flicker from 1,000 yards to mere hundreds. The F-16s cross the bow in a supersonic flash, just meters above the waves.
Infrared sensors catch a sudden burst of light, flares. Whether countermeasures or intimidation, no one knows. On deck, the smell of jet fuel mixes with salt and adrenaline. Sailors stare upward, silent, as the fighters bank sharply, their twin afterburners roaring like thunder over the sea. In seconds, they're climbing back toward Venezuelan airspace, leaving only a fading echo and a trembling crew behind. Was this reckless bravado, or the start of a deeper test against U.S. resolve?
0805. The roar fades, but the tension remains. Inside the USS Gravely's Combat Information Center, the atmosphere is razor-thin, adrenaline clashing with discipline. The captain stands silent, reviewing the rules of engagement taped beside the console. One phrase glares back. Hostile intent must be clear before firing. The officers debate, voices low but urgent. Sir, they locked radar. That's hostile behavior. Maybe, the captain replies, but they didn't fire. Outside, radar screens pulse with faint returns from the Venezuelan coast. Were the fighters regrouping or baiting the destroyer into escalation? Fleet Command joins the channel, calm and deliberate. Gravely, maintain defensive posture. Do not engage unless reapproached. Authorization for intercept if confirmed inbound. Every syllable carries weight. Crew at general quarters remain in full readiness. The ship's Link 16 data network links every sensor and weapon, each system primed but restrained. Missiles stand by in their vertical launch cells. CIWS turrets stay hot. One twitch of a joystick could unleash chaos. A fresh blip appears, then vanishes. Seconds feel like minutes. Finally, confirmation arrives from the E-2D Hawkeye overhead. The F-16s are breaking off. Relief ripples through the ship, but nobody relaxes. They all know the truth. This could happen again, anytime. If the fighters circle back armed, would the next encounter end in missiles instead of warnings? The Caribbean looks calm again, but the sea remembers. Within hours, headlines ripple across intelligence briefings. What began as a 30-second flyby now becomes a diplomatic storm. In Washington, the Pentagon analyzes every radar log, every millisecond of Gravely's Aegis data. They measure Venezuelan approach speed, lock times, and jamming attempts, trying to answer one question: was this an accident or a test? In Venezuela, the Defense Ministry issues a counter-statement, calling the U.S. patrol provocative and the jet's response measured. The blame game has begun. Aboard the USS Gravely, the crew gathers for debriefing. Officers replay footage frame by frame, the sound of the sonic boom still echoing through memory. Some sailors admit they were seconds from pulling the trigger. Others can't stop thinking about what would have happened if they had. Social media erupts as leaked clips hit the web. Analysts argue over unsafe maneuvers, hashtags trend. Armchair generals debate deterrence, but only those on deck truly know how close disaster came. By sunset, the destroyer resumes her patrol round, silent, steady, professional. The sea glimmers gold, but under that calm lies a shared realization. Peace on the water is only ever temporary. Next time, would either side stay that restrained under the same pressure? A 30-second flyby nearly rewrote history. It showed how fragile deterrence can be, how a few miles, a few seconds, a few radar pings can decide whether peace holds or missiles fly. At sea, judgment and restraint are the only real armor. Every encounter like this one reminds the world that technology may react fast, but humanity must think faster. Subscribe for more real-time military breakdowns of the world's closest calls, because sometimes the calmest seas hide the loudest warnings.